Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Aiden if you're new here, and we're reviewing the second season of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045. Um, Again, if you're new here, we've reacted to the whole series on the channel, and this is more just my final thoughts on it. Um, it's good. I think it's good. Again, since this is the second season, we've talked a lot about the technical stuff. One of the big things about this is the animation choice. It's full 3D. Again, I personally prefer 2D or a 3D 2D blend instead of going full 3D. But I think they did all 3D pretty well. I've seen a couple other full 3Ds, and this was one of the nicer ones for sure. And despite this animation choice, I think they were pretty stylish with the directing of it. Um, with 3D, even though it loses some like expressions and stuff, I think they utilize it in a way that 2D that you can't really do 2D can't do techniques with 2D. Like there's a lot of cool camera panning shots and following shots where it really felt like there's a camera guy like moving around. That's pretty cool. I think if you are gonna use something like 3D, you might as well use all its strengths. Um, but we talked about this before. I like the animation. If you don't like 3D animation, then you're just not gonna get into the show. But I'm assuming if you're watching the season 2 review, you've probably watched season 1, so you probably got past that. I don't know. I think that's fine. I think that's one of the better 3D. I remember getting a comment where saying, "Oh, this is the Ghost in the Shell with the stuffed apple seed animation," which I'm assuming they just mean the app. It's stuffed like apple seed, and I'm hoping they're not saying it's worse than the apple seed animation from the movies that are like what 10, 15 years old, because it's definitely better than that. It gets a little disrespect, but it comes with the territory, and I think they did fairly good with the animation. Um, I guess we should talk about the ending, maybe the most controversial thing about the series. If you watched my last episode of the series reaction, I think there's like three categories of people who watch the ending and their reactions. One category is people who have no idea about anything at all. Two is people who understand it but are a little still confused, which is what I'm in, and then three that just fully know it. I was definitely in the middle. I think at this point, I do get what happened. Um, but I just spent like an hour on Reddit just reading people's opinions about it. And the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it. Like again, like it is a little confusing, I will admit, just because I think just the implications of the world and stuff. There's some people who are like, "Oh, what happened in the end? Did the newts go off? Was Motoko in a brain maze?" I feel like I mean, I'm not being disrespectful because again, the sequence is a little um, confusing, but like they literally like just tell you all that stuff in the anime. I don't know. It's more like what does double thinking actually mean and stuff like that. But no, reading Reddit was really fun. Watching some people like talk about if Pern has a soul for like 50 paragraphs, like a 50 post conversation was really funny. Um, I'm not gonna go too much into the ending. I'm sure you can just find an ending explained video. I like it. I think because I really like the concept of post-humans and their origins and them as a villain, quote unquote villain. I think, and we thought about it throughout the series. What is the post-humans' end goal to make the world a better place, basically, make everyone happy? And this answer, like I'll admit, before watching the final episode, my idea, which I was like almost certain would be the answer to what the fuck happened in the second last episode, which was crazy, but I was completely wrong. It was I really like it. It's a very creative and unique answer that fits the posthumans very well. Um, I think. And I've heard a couple people voice this opinion of it and calling the ending a little pretentious as it goes, or it's fake smart. Um, which I think in a way maybe you can argue that, but I would say in general, Ghost in the Shell always delved into topics like this. I know this series is a little less light, but I'm pretty sure they talked about the soul and stuff like that. That's like one of the main thematics throughout the Ghost in the Shell series. So I don't really like, if you think this is pretentious, then you probably consider all of Ghost in the Shell a little pretentious. Um, and apparently, like standalone season one's ending was very, very similar to this. Probably a bit handled a bit better, but I don't know. I personally am not a person who looks for deeper meaning in stories. I'm definitely more a bit surface level, which I don't think is bad. Like I look for good characters, good stories, good writing, and when it's in this animation or film setting, I look for good technical stuff like that. And I'm not like oblivious to the meaning and the philosophy and stuff. It's just not what really interests me personally. So when I watch this in the standpoint of just a story enjoyer, I think that's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Ghost in the Shell has always been something that was delving into some deeper meaning about what is the soul and stuff like that. Um, I don't. I just don't find this overly pretentious. I just find the ending a little confusing because it happens so fast, and while it's explained, it's a little vague in their explanation. But I feel like if you think about it more, and I've been spending a bit of time thinking about it's fun to think about, which means it's probably a good ending. But that's all I'll say. I enjoyed the ending. I think, but you can think of it as you'd like, right? That's the whole thing, right? It's all personal preference. I can see it being a little too s- confusing a bit. Another complaint I had, I feel like this season in general had a little less Motoko focus than season one, surprisingly. I think it was better paced in this season, because the first season's like first half was a little sloggy. This one felt pretty well paced. It's just that Motoko is like never the focus, which is a little sad to say, and she is one of the goated anime characters of all time for sure. I will say, on a positive note, the Purin focus was amazing. I think Purin's definitely my favorite new character that was introduced in this series. I loved her a lot. Um, Her character arc was really good. Actually, my favorite character of this show for sure. Um, and minus the Motoko focus, we also got a bit more Todesa stuff. Um, Yeah, I feel like character arcs besides Pern, not too much development in this arc besides maybe Todus a bit. Um, but I think that's fine in a way. And of course, this did like the first season. It didn't really feel exactly like a standalone complex series because it didn't have any standalone episodes. It was just one story, which I think is fine. But um, changing up the format. I would say, I mean, they would probably just need more episodes, and but they just wanted a singular focus story, which feels different, but it's not exactly. I don't think I would take points off it. I would just say like the in general, I think I liked the first two entries of the standalone complex series better than this one. Though I don't get mad at me. I think this might be better than Arise. The thing with Arise is I just remember nothing from it. Like standalone complex, second did in my memory. The first two movies in my memory. Arise is just almost like a blank slate. It's crazy. And I feel like I'll remember this more, if not just for Purin being awesome. Um, but like the first season, good combat scenes, very fun. I absolutely love how the posthumans fight. It's super entertaining. Comedy was on point with Tachitomas. I think they're pretty good on emotional. I call it emotional roller coaster where they can fluctuate your emotions in one episode from highs to lows, where meaning it can be very funny into like something very sad. You might call it emotional manipulation. And in season one, the finale was like almost tear jerking. I feel like the tear jerking moment in this would be Perrin's backstory. That was pretty heavy, so I gotta give props for that. I love when they can get deep like that. Um, and I gotta compliment the opening and ending. I really enjoyed this series, both season one and season two's openings and endings. And the ending in particular is might actually be one of my most favorite anime endings of all time. It's so catchy, the fact that it's in English made me want to sing along. Well, I did sing along for a lot of it. It's just really good. The music in general can get pretty good too, pretty groovy, but the ending's probably my favorite song of the series. Um, yeah. What else can we say? I don't know. I think that's it. I love the post-human villains. I thought they were a very fun concept. I'm a ending enjoyer. I think the fact that it made me think about it so much makes me enjoy it a lot. And it's a good resolution for like the post-human endgame. Characters were good. Adamo Toto a little not utilized in this, but Todasa, Purin. I love Bato. Bato and Purin relationship is really fun. Boomer Paz actually just useless in this season. Just in the series in general, Boomer and Paz do not get too much love. And to be fair, they're always the more minor side characters of the lane, but still, whatever. Hate Clown. I don't know. I'm not a clown enjoyer. He's my least favorite new added character. The new Prime Minister was cool. I kind of liked Agent Smith too, honestly. But Clown, we could do without it. Um, yeah. Also, apparently, like, if you've read the manga, they also dive deeper into, like, some of the stuff the ending hit. Um, but yeah, I'm not a manga reader. After watching this, I've watched every single Ghost in the Show thing, like adaptation into movie and film, including the live action movie, which we have the reaction to on the channel if you want to watch me watch the live action movie, which was fine, I guess. But no, I honestly, it's a good adaptation. I was a little, I went into it a little wary just because it's negative reception. But I think in general, the negativity just comes from the animation, and people just can't enjoy it, so they don't end up watching it. But I think if you give it a chance, it's a good story. It's again, I would say not as good as the other two standalone complex series, but I think that's definitely solid. Solid stuff. Fun sci-fi. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Again, my reviews are unscripted. They're just final thoughts and stuff like that. So if there is anything you wanna ask me about the series, feel free to leave a comment. Willing to answer. Um, and check out the rest of the channel for anime stuff. We've reacted to and reviewed almost exclusively good anime. It's actually like we're pretty much on a hot streak, besides Cheer Boys, which was like our second or third anime on the channel. But lots of high quality stuff. And after this, a little tease for people who watch reactions on this channel. We got Natsume season 2, and we got I mean, it's probably airing by now, but for our bonus anime unscheduled, we're doing a classical sci-fi, so you might enjoy that. Keep your eyes out for that, though. Again, it's probably airing already since it's unscheduled. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I see you in the future. Peace.